Well, folks, this is Steve A before you. They're kind of, sort of working in my neighborhood. Sort of. I hear the beep, 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 beep all morning long. So they're working somewhere right near here. Look to the right, look to the right. That guy's moving there. See that big thing? That's for when you get down in the hole and the guy doesn't want... Oh! Look at that! They're putting a pipe in the ground. Look at that! Woo! See all the pipes along here? So now they started to dig up these people's lawns. Got all the pipes ready. It's about 40 degrees. Warm enough to do it. Ground ain't frozen. Alright, that's just a short report. See all the stuff piled up here? And they got the cones all the way down here. You think they're doing something after the intersection? I'm actually going to Faith Rock Trail for my climb, my daily heart health climb. See the school bus? School let out early because of the weather. Maybe. So then they got the cones all the way and then they sneak in like this, but they got them on the other. They have to do that if you want to turn right. I'm just explaining the code of how they do things. Here they block you off. So does that mean there's anything going on down here, or did they just do it out of habit? Shall we find out? Now, you see all of this has been done already. You can tell by the matting. It doesn't look like it's germinated yet. Mine's germinated. You see it? They've done it. They did here some of this last week. And now look to the right. Look to the right. The arms are moving. They're digging. Look at them. They're digging. They're doing something up there. There's the pipes. There's the pipes. So when you suddenly have pipes, but you didn't before, and you had matting, that means that's where they had gotten to. So they got two active sections that they're burying the pipe. And the pipes are going to go down in there, way down in there. And then they got to go under this road. But they've already done down to the right here. But there's a lot of flags here, and it doesn't look like it's been torn up. And then they got to go down in there. That's like next to mine. But now here's the flags. See, I'm reminding you. Look at how many flags there are. They want to be sure that stuff doesn't get hit. Fiber optic and whatever. Now, we're going to turn right, just to remind you that the pipeline doesn't continue straight ahead, because that would be going into ram sewer. Instead, it kind of snakes around ram sewer along roads that are less of a problem. Can you see the pipes over there? You see that there? See all the pipes? The guys are just standing there talking. They do, Xylem does tree work associated with the electrical. The spools are fiber optic storage. There's more pipes over there to the left of a different kind. And then there's the fencing over here for erosion control. And this is remember I took you down here about 2 months ago? With this digging, I think it's meant fiber optic. See, the fiber optic is there. You see the orange? Somebody been burning the leaves there. This is the route of the pipeline, but they haven't come here yet. But they have put the fiber optic in recently. Don't you love the way they coordinated? The white flags actually say Lumos on them. Remember I talked to the guy. See the ditch down in there? It's a creek. A lot of creeks. Some of them are flash creeks. They only happen when we get 12 inches of rain. You can tell that the electrical people have been out here recently. How can you tell? By the color of the telephone pole, the utility poles. There's more pipes coming up on the left. See how there's 2 poles there? Did you notice that? There's new transformers up on the lines. They're not rusted out. Here comes somebody gunning along. Ah! Xylem. What's xylem? It's one of the 2 layers under the bark of trees and in the stems of plants. Now I understand why they don't bother fixing up the lawn. See, they've been doing the fiber optic here. But the big diggers are for what? Oh, look! Let me back up. There's nobody behind me. So which side of the road is the pipeline going to go on? We can probably, oh boy. Let me get over here. There's a school bus. You see all the trees that are cut down? Can you see them? Why would they do that? Because that's where they're going to bury the pipe. You see those pieces up there that they can't untangle? I'm going to turn left. So there's a combination of fiber optic and water pipeline work going on. Right now, the active guys are the fiber optic. You're not allowed to have any trucks pull in here. But there's a fiber optic truck, right? That's the conduit that they're burying. 3 colors. Have we been here before? There's a tree cut down here at the corner. I'm not going to go right. I've done that before. So we're on the Jones extension, which wigwags, and we're going to get on to Dixon. That's in case you want to look on a map of Ramseur. So we're on the outskirts of Ramseur. Remember where we're going? You remember what's downhill? That guy's down there digging. What's he doing down there? That's a dead end. I'm not turning in there. You notice how the contour of the land is sloping toward the deep river? I know you can't see the deep river, but it's there. And this is 10 million years of erosion with every 100-year extreme flooding. Somebody just came to get his mail. His mailbox is over here, to the left, right here, but he lives over there. There's nothing unusual about that, folks. I had a clear view both directions, especially uphill. See, I know where I'm taking you. Now this is a dead end. Alright, they've just put fresh poles here. You can see the dirt. Now I'm not going to get out. But you can kind of get a feeling for how far down it is there. See the bridge over there? We're going to be over that in a few minutes. Now, my original thought was they were going to put the water pipeline across the deep river here. This is the deep river. You see why they call it the deep river? Even though I'm not getting out. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let's see if my camera's working. Okay. I'll show you where I'm stepping. I wanted to show you how far down it is. See the island there? Okay, see the bridge over there? See the fiber optic spools over there? See the electrical? My understanding, see what the new pole here, but they don't want erosion? My understanding is, contrary to what I said before about the pipeline somehow being suspended across, that's not the way they're going to do it. They're going to go down under the river. They're going to go down under, they're going to go down this place where I'm standing, and they're going to go down under the river and then up again. Got it? See what it looks like? See what it looks like? They're going to go down under the river and then up. Yeah! Don't be an a-hole, Steve. Let's go. Let me get my gloves on. It's cold. I I don't try to heat my car. Whoop. Okay. Now we got to get across that bridge, right? This is a nice cul-de-sac. You notice that I knew where it was. Been here a few times for various reasons. See, the reason I don't take out some of the old poles is because they got other things attached to them. So we were just on Craven. You need to look at a map. There's the Ramseur Wesleyan Church. Very nice. And we just head right down here. But for whatever reason, they chose not to come along here. And I suspect it has to do with the number of trees along the roadside. So there you go. With Superman flying over the deep river. This is Brooklyn Avenue. I've brought you here so many times. In the old days, the road went to the right. Why? Do you remember what I told you? See those things there they put in the ground? You see the bigger spools? There used to be a factory. If you went straight down there used to be a factory. And if you went straight along here, there used to be a rail line that ended here, and there was a round table to turn the engines around. And this brick building was the cotton warehouse. There was a time when I thought it was the factory. It was the cotton warehouse. I was being stupid. It made the cotton warehouses all look about the same. And why did the road go like this instead of straight up the hill the way it is today? Because in the old days, when you only had oxen and horses, and you had a big wagon loaded with grain or whatever, you had to go a slower increasing grade so the horses wouldn't have their hooves slipping, and you have to beat the shit out of them to try to get up the hill. So you took the more gradual roundabout way, rather than come straight up Brooklyn Avenue. Trying to figure out what he's waiting for. Traffic service. Want to go over here. See, this is Brooklyn Avenue. See the difference? Now, we're going to go up Depot Street. Now that business about beating the horses and their hoofs slipping and all that kind of stuff, you think I'm just making that up, or do you think I saw it in Algeria? Or maybe it was Tunisia. So I know what I'm talking about. Guy beating the shit out of his 4 horses while he's trying to get them to pull a big wagon up a slippery grade. It was too much for them for the load. If they'd been on dirt, they might have been able to do it, but they were on a road surface and their hoofs were slipping. They were almost falling, and he was beating the shit out of them. I don't remember if it was 4 horses or 1. Maybe it was 1. That was 1966. This is Depot Street. Oh, no, this is Liberty Street. Depot Street was down at the bottom. Why would they call it Depot Street? You mean there was a train depot there? Ramseur Municipal Building to the left. Ashland Rescue and EMS, that's the EMS guys. Yeah, they go by the house. I haven't heard a lot of them lately. I think people have been getting fewer heart attacks or something. See, there's diggers everywhere. And that's for fiber optic, because there's a boring machine right there. And to the right was the First Baptist Church. I'm giving you a tour. Now, right over here, at this apex here to the left of me, at Coleridge and Liberty Street, there used to be a highway historical marker for Cox Mill, for about the loyalists under Fanning that they were holed up down at Cox Mill. And a guy who worked at the Ashboro Library contacted the people in Raleigh and said, "Your sign's in the wrong place. It needs to be further down the road across the river from where Cox Mill is." But it had to be on that road because it's an NC numbered road. It couldn't be on the road right outside of Cox Mill, which still exists, because it's not a numbered road, which is one of the rules about where the signs can be. See how my mind wanders? House for sale. This is Liberty Street, by the way, folks. You see that style of house? You see how that's... Now, it's built up on a long slope, but that style of house goes back to before 1850. It's called a dog run style, because the actual hearth kitchen was separate from the house, and you had to go outside. And why would they do that? To keep the house from burning down. And the front, the way it was, the living rooms were down and full, but the bedrooms were above it. That's what was facing the street. On the second floor is the bedrooms. Sort of similar. See the shed at the back? It's because there's always the door running straight out of the back kitchen dining room. You see the house? Same thing. It's because the hearth cooking thing was in a small building away from the back of the building for fire prevention. Teaching about North Carolina. They were pretty smart people. Called a dog run style architecture. Why is it called a dog run? Because you had to run like the dog in the winter to go out there and get the food, bring it back. This is Ramseur, US 64. Okay, folks, I've run my mouth enough. Give you a little tour, just to refresh your memory. I'm going to go climb Faith Rock Trail. Steve AB4 waiting for the light to turn green. Saying see you in 73.